You know that house on the street where the lawn just looks right, where everything feels clean and taken care of, and you can't quite explain why it stands out from every other yard around it? That look isn't luck, and it isn't about spending a fortune. Most of the time, it comes down to avoiding a handful of mistakes that nearly everyone makes without realizing it. These are 10 lawn mistakes that quietly wreck your curb appeal, and the reason they matter goes beyond how things look. Buyers notice, appraisers notice, and your neighbors definitely notice. A well-kept lawn can add thousands to what your home is worth, and a neglected one drags it down just as fast. We're covering all 10 today, starting with the most common and building toward the ones that do the most damage. And some of these are so simple to fix that you'll wonder why nobody told you sooner. You're mowing too short. The temptation makes sense, because cutting it low means you mow less often. But going below the recommended height discourages deep rooting and rolls out the welcome mat for weeds and heat stress. Scalped turf loses its ability to handle drought and temperature swings, and visually it goes from lush to patchy almost overnight. The 1/3 rule fixes this. Never take off more than 1/3 of the blade height in a single pass, which means Kentucky bluegrass stays at 2 to 3 inches, tall fescue at 2.5 to 4, Bermuda at 1 to 2, and St. Augustine at 2.5 to 4. Walk outside after your next mow. Visible bare soil between blades means you're cutting too short, and that exposed dirt is exactly where crabgrass takes hold first. Your mower blades are dull. This one stays invisible until the damage shows up everywhere at once. Dull blades rip and shred instead of cutting cleanly, which Utah State University Extension links directly to increased water loss, slower healing, and a wide-open entry point for fungal infections like brown patch and dollar spot. A sharp blade leaves a wound that heals within 24 to 48 hours, but a dull one tears the grass, and that ragged edge takes several days to close, which is all the fungi need. Sharpen after every 10 hours of mowing, roughly once a month during the growing season. If you've never sharpened yours at all, the damage is probably already showing in ways you've blamed on weather or soil. You're watering at the wrong time of day. Purdue Extension puts the ideal window at 4 to 8 a.m., and the reasoning comes down to 2 problems with every other time slot. Midday irrigation can lose up to half its water to evaporation before it reaches the soil. Evening watering creates the opposite problem by leaving moisture on the blades all night, which connects directly to brown patch, a disease that activates when nighttime temperatures climb past 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Dollar spot kicks in at just 50 degrees. Switching to a morning schedule costs nothing and removes one of the biggest invisible threats to how your lawn looks. You're overwatering or underwatering. Most turf grasses need 1 to 1.5 inches of water per week, including rainfall, delivered in 1 or 2 deep sessions rather than daily shallow sprinkles. A poorly maintained automatic system can waste up to 25,000 gallons in a single year. The diagnostic takes 10 seconds. Step on your lawn and walk away. If your footprints stay visible and the grass looks dull, bluish-gray, it needs more water. Spongy ground with mushrooms or yellowing blades points in the other direction. Getting your watering right protects the lawn and trims the utility bill at the same time. You're ignoring weeds until they take over. Pre-emergent herbicide runs $60 to $150 for a typical yard. Miss the window, and post-emergent treatments cost $76 to $170 per round, with professional hand weeding running $35 to $140 an hour. Crabgrass germinates when soil temperature hits 53 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit for several consecutive days. The easiest indicator is the forsythia bushes in your area, because once they bloom, your window is open. And here's the part that surprised me. Simply raising mowing height from 1.5 inches to 2.5 inches in Kentucky bluegrass dropped crabgrass infestation from 80% to under 15%. Taller grass, fewer weeds, zero extra cost. We're into the top 5 now, and these hit your wallet hardest. If anything so far already saved you a headache, hit that like button and subscribe. You've never tested your soil. If your soil pH sits outside the sweet spot, you could be wasting the majority of every fertilizer application, and the grass will keep looking thin no matter what you throw at it. Most lawn grasses perform best between pH 6 and 7, and straying too far in either direction blocks nutrients from reaching the roots. Extension labs run the test for $10 to $30, and in some states it comes free. Test every 2 to 3 years, ideally in fall, so amendments have time to work before spring. The process takes about 10 minutes. Just pull a dozen random soil cores down to 4 inches, mix them together, and mail the sample. If your lawn refuses to respond to fertilizer, pH is almost always the reason. You're fertilizing wrong or at the wrong time. Over-application causes nitrogen burn, where concentrated salts pull water out of the grass roots and scorch everything. The ceiling sits at 1 pound of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet per application. Timing matters more than amount. Cool season grasses like Kentucky bluegrass and tall fescue need their primary feeding in September, not spring. Spring ranks second at best, and nothing should go down after mid-October or before mid-April. Warm season grasses including Bermuda, zoysia, and St. Augustine follow the opposite calendar, taking fertilizer from mid-April through September during active growth and refusing it before spring, green-up, or after dormancy sets in. Worth knowing that 11 states now ban or restrict phosphorus in lawn fertilizer, so checking your local rules before buying saves you from a fine on top of everything else. You're skipping aeration and dethatching. Compacted soil suffocates a lawn from below. Water infiltration in compacted ground drops to about 1/4 of what loose soil allows, which means most of the water you apply slides off without reaching the roots. Cool season lawns respond best to aeration in early fall, warm season grasses in late spring. Heavy clay or high traffic yards need annual treatment, and lighter use lawns can stretch to every 2 to 4 years. Thatch becomes a problem above 1/2 inch. Push a screwdriver into your soil right now. If it won't slide in smoothly to 3 or 4 inches, compaction already owns your yard. You planted the wrong grass for your climate. Cool season varieties grow best between 60 and 75 degrees. Warm season grasses between 75 and 95. Planting the wrong type means no amount of water or fertilizer will bring the lawn back. What makes this trickier now is that climate zones keep shifting. The 2023 United States Department of Agriculture Plant Hardiness Zone map showed roughly half the country moving to the next warmer zone compared to 2012. The transition zone, that difficult band from Virginia through Tennessee and Missouri into Kansas, keeps creeping northward. Virginia Tech turfgrass specialist Dr. Michael Goatley calls turf-type tall fescue the #1 choice for residential yards in that zone, and it handles both heat and cold better than most alternatives available today. Have you ever inherited a lawn with the completely wrong grass type? Drop that story in the comments, because I genuinely want to hear how you handled it. You have no edge definition. I am not exaggerating when I say edging delivers the single fastest visual transformation any lawn can get. A perfectly mowed yard without crisp borders still looks unfinished. One landscape professional compared it to getting an amazing haircut, but leaving an overgrown beard completely unkempt. And once you hear that you can't unsee it. Clean lines along sidewalks, driveways, and garden beds create borders that signal deliberate care rather than neglect. The difference separates a lawn that looks like someone loves it from one that merely exists. Re-edge every 1 to 2 weeks during the growing season, and cut a deep seasonal edge at least twice a year in spring and fall. The tool matters far less than showing up consistently. A beautiful lawn isn't about expensive products or professional services. It's about avoiding the mistakes that undo everything you're already doing. The National Association of Realtors found that basic lawn care delivers over double its cost back at resale. And buyers consistently say they'll pay thousands more for a home that looks cared for from the street. Fix even 3 of these 10, and your lawn will look noticeably different within a single growing season. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.